The Doll Maker. As I sit in my study, surrounded by leather-bound books and flickering candlelight, I am filled with a sense of dread as I recall the tale of the Doll Maker, a story so chilling it has stayed with me all these years, whispered from one generation to the next, like a curse. In a small village, nestled deep in the heart of the woods, there lived a woman known only as the Doll Maker. From the outside, her cottage appeared quaint and inviting, with its thatched roof and window boxes filled with vibrant flowers. But behind its cheerful facade lay a dark and twisted secret. The Doll Maker was a reclusive woman, and few had ever seen her face. Those who did reported that her eyes were black and empty, as if all the light and life had been drained from them. Her skin was ghostly pale, and her hair was long and as black as midnight. She was rumoured to never leave her cottage, and that strange noises could be heard coming from within, even in the dead of night. It was said that on quiet nights the villagers could hear the sound of her voice, singing a haunting melody that echoed through the woods and chills the bravest of hearts. The villagers whispered amongst themselves, but they couldn't deny that the dolls the Doll Maker created were unlike anything they had ever seen. They were beautiful, yes, but there was something about them that sent a shiver down the spine. Their glassy eyes seemed to follow your every move. Their porcelain skin was eerily lifelike, and their tiny hands and feet were so delicate they looked as if they could break at any moment. Despite the villagers' misgivings, people came from far and wide to purchase the dolls. They were considered status symbols, and no one wanted to be left out. But as time went on, strange things started to happen. Children would come home from playing with the dolls, and they were no longer the same. They were quiet, almost catatonic, and their eyes were void of all expression. Parents tried to take the dolls away, but their children would become violent, almost as if the dolls were controlling them. One day, a group of children went missing from the village, and their desperate parents pointed the finger of blame at the Doll Maker. The villagers searched her cottage, and what they found there still haunts me to this day. Every single one of her dolls was crafted from the missing children. Their hair was woven into the dolls' wigs, their skin was used to create their delicate features, and their tiny fingers and toes had been carved into the miniature hands and feet. It was as if the dolls had somehow captured the children's very souls. The villagers burned the cottage to the ground, but the legacy of the Doll Maker lived on. To this day, travelers claim to hear the sound of dolls laughing and moving on their own, and some say that if you dare to enter the woods on a dark and stormy night, you can still see the ghostly figure of the Doll Maker wandering among the ashes of her once cheerful home. Some say that her dolls come to life seeking revenge for their stolen lives. But there were those who believed that the dolls were not the result of the Doll Maker's twisted mind. They whispered of a dark force that lived within the woods, a force that had taken the form of the Doll Maker and was using her to create the doll. These villagers whispered that the dolls were not simply toys, but were vessels for the evil spirit to possess and control. They whispered of how the dolls would come alive at night, seeking out new victims to add to their twisted collection. I close my eyes, trying to banish the image of the Doll Maker's macabre creations, but the memory of their haunting beauty lingers on. And as I blow out the candles and retire to my bed, I can't help but wonder if the tale of the Doll Maker is just a myth, or if there truly are dark and twisted secrets lurking, waiting to be uncovered. And so the legend of the Doll Maker was born, a story that has been passed down from generation to generation, warning all who will listen to beware the dolls that come to life in the heart of the woods. If you enjoyed this story, do consider subscribing. You wouldn't want to have a doll visiting you in the middle of the night, would you? Oh, and do share this lovely story with someone who perhaps could use a chill down their spine.